Hello, welcome into episode 1 of the brand new series of Broncos Europe Weekly. I'm joined as ever, or will be as ever, by my co-host Kieron Moralee. Hello, Kieron.
Good afternoon, Mark. Yeah, thanks for inviting me on to do this, and looking forward to the season ahead.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. I've been pestering you to do this video podcast for ages, and it's about time that we got it done. You'll notice that we have no Irish on the show, as in past series. Michael and Colin have gone on to the Irish NFL show, but I'm sure we will have them on the show in a few weeks. Just want to mention that we are now presented by our sponsor. So we're sponsored by EndZoneKit, which offers American sports items for the whole family, from newborn sizes to adults 3 extra large and up. Sourcing from Denver, they're the largest Broncos stockists in the UK, hands down, with some especially quirky collector items straight from the Mile High. Fast free UK postage from Southampton, and you can save an additional 10% by using the coupon code Broncos Europe. This is a real bargain on top of the 25% off you already get for the Broncos playing in Europe this year. So if you go to endzonekit.co.uk and you can Bronco up. Okay. So, just a little quick intro from yourself, Kieron. I just wanted to know how you became a Broncos fan.
I don't think I've got one of them great stories, Mark. People do, they're doing this, doing that. I think back in the day, I got Madden 2006 for the old Xbox, and stupid as it sounds, orange is my favourite colour, and it just was the team I picked, and it grew from there. And I think it was really probably 2008 onwards, maybe it's even the 2009-10 season when I sort of really got into it. The days of Demaryius Thomas and Julius Thomas, was that partnership and things like that, and it just took it from there, really.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just surprising how many people choose their favourite team in the UK from their favourite colour, that way.
Yeah.
I play Madden. Demaryius Thomas, one of my all-time favourite wide receivers. I mean, he goes along with that. Emmanuel Sanders, for me, he's got to be up there.
Yeah. Brilliant that he's retired a Bronco this week. So
yes.
Yeah.
So that's recent news, isn't it? Recent news. Emmanuel Sanders retired a Bronco, called it quits on a wonderful career. 3 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl trophy. Just unreal. And it's been noted that people are retiring Broncos recently, which is good to see.
Yeah. And again, I think you just see it from the players coming in, the effect that it's had on Russell Wilson, saying Mark coming in and straight away what he's saying about the club and beyond, people inside and outside and stuff. So yeah, great for us.
Right, shall we move on to first week 1? So obviously Broncos are travelling to Seattle. It's a grudge match, but Russell Wilson's going home, or he's going to his old home. Broncos obviously his new home. It kicks off 1:15 Tuesday morning for us in the UK and 2:15 for the rest of Europe. So obviously early morning game. Are you staying up, planning on staying up?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Nice, easy one to get us in the rhythm, isn't it? Yeah, nice early morning, but yeah, especially this one. Like you say, a grudge match. Russell Wilson going back, and it could have been a one both sides of the coin. Mark, I suppose, if Drew managed to win that the summer camp battle, but there we go, Geno Smith.
I had my fingers crossed. That Drew Lock would win that one, but once again, he just doesn't seem to get the luck of the draw, does he?
No. You see, and must admit, one of the when he was a Bronco, every game I was one of the people wishing and hoping he would just pull it out of the bag and make that turn and kick on to that next step, and it just never seemed to come. But we're hoping again, even when he went to Seattle, that it would happen for him, we don't
have to worry about it anymore. We've moved on to bigger and better things. Russell Wilson, obviously QB1, big Brett Rippon behind him, backing him up. Hopefully won't see too much of him this year. Let's move on to the 3 key matchups you've got for this game. If you want to kick it off.
I think one of my first ones is really our outside linebackers, our edge rush. Looking at Randy Gregory, if he is fit, Bradley Chubb hopefully coming back and having a big year against what's potentially, looking at the depth charts that's been released, 2 rookies, in the right and left tackle for Seattle. Hopefully we can get some pressure on those and then onto Geno Smith and force those errors, and then hopefully with our secondary then's having a big day. Do you know what I mean? Picking off left, right, and centre. Hopefully, Mark, that's the dream. But
they definitely should be. They should be having a field day. Gregory and Chubb got experience. Chubb's playing for his contract, isn't he? He's got to show up this year. He's been made a team captain, which is obviously a big deal for him. How many sacks are you hoping for this game from the outside alone?
You look at the game and you think, well, how are we going to come into it? First one, we don't know a lot. We're hoping for a big turn for the Broncos, and we're hoping Seattle's in that place where they're kind of in a bit of a rebuild and such, and not having what they have. But I think it's going to be a bit dirty and grimy to watch. I don't think it's going to be as, and so I would just like them both to get off the mark. I think if those 2 guys can kind of get in and pick one each, get a good hit each and stuff, and start the tally. But like I say, realistically, hopefully they could have a field day. If things go right, they could have a.
You noted that they had rookie tackles. The inside of the line's actually pretty strong. I think they're all experienced players on the inside. So whether we'll get much pressure with Draymond, DJ, whether we'll get much pressure up the middle is another question. The injury report got released. Obviously, a big name on there, Josie Jewell. He's listed as doubtful. So unlikely he will play. So Alex Singleton most probably come in, the inside linebacker spot. Now they are going to want to rush to their heart's content, aren't they? They're not going to want Geno to be throwing too much. No. So they'll be wanting to rush loads. What do you think chances of stopping the run are? I've just got flashbacks to Cleveland last year where they absolutely diced us up with a third string running back.
Yeah, and we're talking about Rashad Penny, who had a good end to last season, strong. And if he's had a similar camp and pre-season as he finished the season, that is the bit I think that might undo us a little bit, So I would like to think, we've got Jonas Griffin, we've got some there's plenty of experience there still in terms of, I think how many seasons now has Singleton got if he has to step in? Is it is this his 5th year, 4th year mark coming in, something like that? Or the last
but something along them lines.
Yeah, he's played plenty for Philly in those the last couple of seasons. So I would like to think that's what the game plan is, that we're looking to stop that run, and because that is the bit I worry about more than the passing game this week. Obviously, as we know with Geno Smith and things. Not that the passing game is, you look at the receivers they've got lined up ready to
go. Receivers there in Lockett and Metcalf. He's an absolute unit on the outside. Be interesting to see if Pat Surtain lines up against him for the whole game. I know Evero wants him to follow receivers in some games this year, so it'd be interesting if he starts like that in week 1. Opposite him, you've got Darby. He suits following Lockett more. He's shorter, he's quicker, so it might be the ideal time to match them up for the whole game.
Yeah. But like I say, hopefully we can bring that pressure from the edge and it doesn't get that far. But yeah, we've got to be. It's one of those on paper you're looking at it and we've got to be wise to both. Really, I think we kind of, it's one of them. You're looking at them going, well, they're gonna rush it, but he's still got those weapons, and he's he's not been an out and out starter, Geno Smith, but he's still got a bit of skill and a lot of rise. He's beat out Drew, who we knew from his time in Denver he can throw a ball. It was the mistakes at times and his bullies and stuff that cost him. But that's one of the main matchups, as you say. That's one for me, is how our linebackers can pick up against that rush game.
Yeah, I've got one of my big matchups is obviously Denver's run game. Russell Wilson's come in. We're all expecting him to go crazy and we go pass heavy, but the run game to set him up is going to be crucial. We've got two probably the best running backs in the league in Javonte and Melvin. And I think they said that Javonte's going to sort of have the majority of snaps, maybe 65, 35, 55, 45. It's something. It'll be close-ish, but I think also Melbourne will be leaned on in red zone, third downs, rushing up the middle, get them the touchdowns. So if we can rush against that interior line of Seattle, they've got Shelby Harris, former Bronco. He's going to be having a revenge game. He was gutted to leave Denver. So I can imagine.
I must admit, I think Mark, in that trade, I think he was the one for me. He just, time and time again won us games when it was so tight. I think was it the Steelers game early on? Was it Shelby who was involved in that one? It's just really good, and like you say, gutted. And again, somebody I think who enjoyed the organisation and the people and things. So
he was a real fan's favourite as well. He made those big time plays just when you needed him, and he celebrated like he should. He was out in the community. He's definitely a fan favourite. So sad to see him leave. But let's hope he doesn't have a good game week 1. I could do with him being quiet. My other matchup was the rookie cornerbacks, which they've got 2 rookies starting at cornerback. Cortland Sutton going up against one, and Jerry Jeudy against the other. Do you see much success for the wide receivers?
I do, and I think that, like you said, I think we might find that good balance between our run game and and the passing game. And that was my other one I had down. Was I expect Cortland Sutton especially to have a big game, and I think if Hamler's fit, if KJ's fit, which I know is he questionable still at the moment, he just adds that other dimension as well, that you just stretch it and stuff. And I think having the 3 fit with we know the route running that Jerry Jeudy does is he's so good at creating that space, getting that separation from players. And I think we've got such a strong receiving core that it's going to open up space for Sutton. And like you say, against rookie cornerbacks, I'm hoping he's going to have a field day. And that was my big one. I think maybe expect a standout there. Really excited to see how it starts, Mark. To be honest, it's one of these. It's guessing games. We'll probably not know for a couple of weeks really how the teams gelled in, how we're going to play. But
preseason footballs, it's not the one. Just seeing 3rd string, even 4th string players. It's not what you need to open up week 1. It's going to be good. Got some key players that I think they should watch out for. We've got especially when we're in red zone. We've got Albert O, big target in that red zone. You can move them around. Big body, should be catching anything that comes his way in that end zone, especially from Russell Wilson. And on the same sort of aspect there, I've got Melbourne Gardner in the red zone. I'm looking for him to have a big year. The touchdown numbers might not be yards, but touchdown numbers should be good for him.
And again, I know he's one that the fans at times sometimes they like to bring up the hand situation, certain things. I thought he had a great season last season, and there was a couple of those plays still, but overall, I'm so glad that he's there, and that 1-2 punch of him and Williams, like you say, is going to be. I think it's going to be brilliant this year. I think that's what we'll see it. And red zone, that experience. Let Williams do the dirty work and fight for the yards, early downs and such, and punch it in. So, no, I agree. I think really, really hoping he has that makes that next step. I think he's been on the cusp, and obviously injuries and such as well. But because really our tight end room's probably looking a little bit bare until
he's got a big opportunity this year. He'll go in as number 1 tight end. He's got obviously Greg Dulwich coming in after week 4. He's on an IR, but he's got to show up, otherwise Greg will get that number 1. We haven't really got too much behind him. We've got Eric Salbert and I can't remember someone, Tomlinson, long hair guy. He's not known for his catching ability, but a very, very number 1 blocker tight end. So I also picked out Montreal Washington as a could-be standout in this game. Our special teams have been lacking over the past few years. It's been dreadful. So him coming in, kick-starting our sort of return game can really put us in some good positions.
It's nice to see that coming out of pre-season, isn't it? That is one of the things that's maybe taken the biggest step forward. And I think there was those sort of arguable, debatable selections in the final 53, especially in the receiver, likes of Kendall Hinton, who go on and things like that. But when you balance it with the special teams, and then the improvements they've made, and if that's a reason you know, the likes of Tyree Cleveland's, you know, being brought back, and Montreal, Washington, places like that. It's good, you know, there's that whole approach, and yeah, we should be good in all three phases really this year. I think that's the
aim. It's the aim. Too many times last season we were ruined by just one phase let us down. More often than not, it was special teams, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I think a big emphasis has been put on that this year.
Yeah.
So Dwayne Stoops comes in as special teams coordinator. He's the fire in that sort of coaching staff. He's the one who gets angry the most. I don't know if you've seen him shouting at the players, but it's something to watch for sure. Moving on. Have you got a prediction in score-wise for this game?
I have, yeah. I've got us, and obviously I've seen our sponsor EndZoneKit's post on social media. I don't know if the guys have seen that. You know, might get a chance to, you know, but my prediction's the same as it on there. And surprisingly, quite a few had already picked the same score line. So hopefully we're not a million miles off map, but I've gone Denver 27, Seattle 13. So I do see them scoring a TD, a couple of field goals, and I think we'll get 3 TDs and two field goals. I think that's how it's going to go.
I'm hoping for more points than that. We didn't often break the 30-point barrier last year. I think this is a great chance to do this. So yeah, I see. You know, probably they're not going to score more than 2 touchdowns max. So I say 31, 14. 31, 31, not 14. Yeah, 31-14 I'll go for.
31-14. Yeah, I just think I hope you're all right, and I hope we do see Russ cook a little bit more in it, you know, and we have that balance. But you know, the starters, we've made the conservative approach. We haven't played them in pre-season, so yeah, all the training camps and things like that. There's still that, for me. I thought we'll give them that bedding in period, benefit with no type thing. So I expect we'll still put up a good amount of yards, but yeah, 3. I'll take 3, and I'll take 27 now, Mark. I'll take that scoreline.
We'll just take a dub. You know, we'll start season 1, and I'll be happy. But I'd like to see us light it up a little bit. Moving on now to week 1 predictions. We put a graphic out before with our 2 predictions on there for the week 1 games that we were too late to put Buffalo against LA on there. What would you have gone for?
Yeah. You know, I've seen quite a few Rams wins, and it's one of them. I think before the game, you're probably going, oh, I don't really know. I probably would have gone Bills, but would that because I'm back in Von and just you know, like to see that success again? And by all accounts, he looks like he's had a good game for them and kicked them onto the W. But Josh Allen's just a different beast, isn't he? Yeah. So I'll claim that I would have put the Bills on that one anyway. So I'll claim that point if we start it now.
We'll believe you. We'll have 1 point in the board each. So Saints at Falcons. Who did you back here?
Saints, and yeah, I don't know about you. I just think that Saints roster's a little bit. I know they've got a bit of a wild card in there, Winston, but it is QB. But I think he showed a bit last year, and I think he'll grow into a bit more. And you know, Kamara's shouting off that he's the healthiest he's ever been and things like that. So I just think, I'm not saying it'll be a landslide, but I think the Saints will take this one.
I'm with you on that one. I've gone Saints as well. Falcons roster's just a bit thin. Not much going for them, but I see Saints coming out on top in this one. I'll kick things off with the next one. We've got Browns at Panthers. A little bit different for us two here. I've gone Panthers. Baker Mayfield coming back to his old haunting ground. He's either going to light up or he's going to go the other way and just totally fail. I believe in Baker though. I think he's going to come out in this one.
You know what? I think this one was probably one of the closer ones out the 2 for me. And in all honesty, I would quite like Baker to go back as well and do it, because I don't think it's been the best of situations and things like that. But I have gone Browns on this one, so
with the difference maker.
But I wouldn't be disappointed personally if he went back and did upset them, you know.
So they've got Christian McCaffrey as well in the backfield. If he's fit, if he stays fit for the season, which is a big doubt, very rarely does. He is a huge weapon on that offense.
Unstoppable, right? You know, one of the best in the league. just that injuries that have let him down at times. But yeah, when he's fit and fully fit, he's a monster, really.
Yeah. 49ers at the Bears. Do you believe in Trey? It's Trey season.
Yeah, and
on this one for me.
I've gone 49ers. Good battle of the young quarterbacks, but I just think the 49ers rosters again, just over both sides, just a little bit better.
But George Kittle's not playing, no. George Kittle's been ruled out. So
and in our Broncos Europe Fantasy League, I have got maybe it's one too many Bears players. So again, I'm kind of divided on this one, but yeah, 49ers for me, Mark.
49ers all the way. Steelers at Bengals. That's another easy one for me. I do have the Steelers D in the fantasy, but Bengals going to come out on top.
Yeah, I think my little note next to this one, I've just put Joe Burrow.
Yeah, so you need to know.
Yeah, it's just different, yeah.
Eagles at Lions. This is an interesting pick for yourself. I see you grimacing. Obviously, I've got Eagles. Much fancy to win their division this year. They've strengthened really well in the off-season. And you seem to have gone the other way. Yeah, influenced by Hard Knocks.
Lured in by Hard Knocks and yeah, tugged on the heartstrings. Dan Campbell, super fan. Yeah, and do look like an improved team, improved roster on both sides. But you're probably right. The Eagles probably are too strong for them, but we'll see if this one. I might get a sneaky point. We don't know.
Okay. They've got one of my ones to watch for the year. Though I'm on Ross St. Brown. He's a hell of a wide receiver. I think he's going to do big things this year.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Colts at Texans. This is the easiest one we'll probably call this week. Colts win for me.
Yeah, even though my initial post to you said the other way, but clerical error. But yeah, Colts.
I was shocked when I received your message saying Texans to be the Colts. But
I'm glad you pointed out pre-recording this and didn't just mock me to my face as I announced that one. But yeah.
Pats Dolphins. Another one where we've gone different. Go on, lead off on this one.
Yeah, and you're looking at it and you're going, he'll somehow pull it out the bag, Belichick. The roster the last few years, it just hasn't looked as strong as it has in the Brady era and things like that. He picked up players that have kind of looked average or below average at teams, and he's got them, and I think they will be going strength to strength again. And it's one of them you think, oh, it could go either way. But I just went to he's got a new weapon in Tyreek Hill, and I just think it'll be close, but they might just edge that one, Mark, for me.
Yeah, this one's definitely, it's a coin toss. Pats, obviously, Matt Jones had a good year last year. He's got some good tight end options there. He played well. But yeah, like I said, Dolphins have got the new weapon, Tyreek Hill. Not that I want him to have much success, even though I did draft him in fantasy. Don't know why. Tua, obviously, he's hit and miss, but hopefully he'll have a good season this year. Interestingly, the only stadium I've ever been in the US was the Dolphins Stadium. My only Broncos game ended up getting absolutely stuffed in 2017. One of the worst performances I've seen. Isaiah McKenzie dropping a punt as I walked out the stadium at the end of the third.
Yeah. A player who's started the season quite brightly.
He got it on the board. He got a touchdown, didn't he?
A
few drops, but again, Broncos right to get rid of him. He was horrendous for us. So, Ravens at Jets. Again, I think this is another easy one.
Joe Flacco, is that the starting quarterback?
Yes, he started the Jets for his next team on the board. He was a shocker for us. I've gone Ravens. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, I think would I give it a little bit more thought if Flacco wasn't starting with the new wide receiver weapons they brought in and things like that. But again, it's a young core. Some time there for it to gel. But yeah, Ravens all day on this one.
Yeah, that's an easy win for me. Jaguars at Commanders. I've gone Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, he's about to light it up this year. He's gonna improve. Hopefully not in London against the Broncos, but he looks good. And the running back Etienne, I think there'll be a nice 1-2 combo there.
Yeah, and again, my notes on this one, Mark, is a close game, but Washington pinch it as the way I've gone. I don't think it'll be, although I've gone Commanders, I don't think it's going to be a massive,
I think it'll be low scoring as well.
I was just about to say, you're saying Trevor Lawrence might go off this season, but I think this opening game, again, a bit nitty-gritty, finding the feet and things.
Giants at Titans, again, we'll speed through a few of these. I've gone Titans. I think that's an easy call.
Yeah,
we've both gone State. Chiefs at Cardinals, this could be an interesting matchup. As much as I don't want them to win, I think Chiefs are just about edge it. Cardinals do start the season usually strong, but this is a key game for both teams.
Yeah, I think a good QB battle there, but I think the Cardinals, there's a couple of players questionable. I think Rondale Moore's out, and JJ Watt's questionable. And somebody else want to keep,
Yeah,
the Chiefs, they've lost a good weapon for Patrick, but they've brought in,
it's interesting to see if they rely on the run a little bit more this season.
Yeah, but I think for me, they'll pinch at the Chiefs, and I don't think it would be. I think it'd be close, but not too close as well. I think
it's probably going to be the game of the week for me. That one, Chiefs at Cardinals, two quality teams going up against each other. The old AFC West matchup, Raiders at Chargers. It's an interesting one, actually.
I think this one is very close, and I think that speaks volumes for the West in a whole. I think if we're not the strongest division now in the NFL, I think in general, I mean, QBs are low, like take them out of the picture. I think there's four good teams here, and I think every one is a shootout, really, isn't it? It's but I think the Chargers pinch it for me just ever so slightly. It'd be interesting to see the dynamic, the new link up between Devontae Adams and Derek Carr, and I think that likes having Hunter Renfrow there for them, and Waller, who I think he just signed a new contract as well. There's people there who need to be picked up, so it's going to create that space for Adam. But likewise, you look on the other side of the ball, look at Herbert, look at the weapons he's got in Williams and Keenan Allen, and the running game with Eckler. I think they'll pinch it for me.
Yeah, I mean, they have got a big cornerback out there. JC Jackson came in, probably the biggest off-season move, off free agency. He's been ruled out for the game, so that could be a defining moment. But I've gone Chargers as well. I think they're just going to be a little bit too much for Raiders at this time.
Whether or not,
go on.
Sorry, mate. No, just saying whether the JC Jackson, maybe it's that, again creates a little bit more space for, and lets Derek Carr unleash his new weapons a little bit more. Potentially could swing things a little bit. He was questionable last time I looked, so he's ruled out. But I still think Chargers will pinch it.
Yeah, Packers at Vikings. Probably, I think this is the last one we've split on. This was a toss-up again. Packers, Aaron Rodgers. Do you ever doubt him? He's never had his receiving threats, but he pulled it out of the bag somehow.
Yeah, and I mean, his receiving core, he's lost Adams, and it maybe he's looks a little bit uninspired on paper, I suppose, at times. But there's still some good receivers in there, and he's going to hit them. That's the thing.
You only have to be a good receiver. He's going to hit them all day long. You can go deep, you can go underneath. I just feel that they're going to edge out the Vikings in a close game.
I've gone the other way. I kind of think he's going to hit them, but maybe they just need them that extra week or two before they start hitting that stride a bit more. So I've gone the Vikings on this one.
Yeah. Buccaneers at Cowboys. I think Cowboys are very overhyped again. Does Dak pull it out of the bag? Not for me. I've gone Bucs, Tom Brady. Never doubt him.
Yeah. Unfortunately, TV 12 as well. I do think the Cowboy. Yeah, it's which Dak turns up, which Cowboys turn up. Like you say, they're so up and down as a team. I think, and I just think the Bucs. Yeah, they've just got that man behind the helm, and steadily getting.
He does. He knows how to win. And then obviously Monday Night Football, Broncos Seahawks. I'm going to put us down as Broncos every week. They've got, they're massive favourites in this one. They've got to come out on top for me.
I think the only one, since they had a blowout in Miami when you were there, the only one I'll bet against us is when you go out and watch them. Which one are you going to again?
I'm off to the Jets, so I hope you don't bet against us on that one.
What week's that as well?
I think it's the week before London. So I think it's
right. So yes, you're not going to see Joe Flacco.
no, thank God. I hope not. I never want to see him in a Broncos uniform, let alone
No.
So yeah, I've got Broncos coming out on top on this one.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, like you say, we've done our predictions, and yeah, comfortable hope too.
We're going to be predicting every sort of matchup each week and have a little competition against each other, and we'll sort out a little prize or a forfeit of some sort.
Yeah,
at the end.
To win up. Maybe the guys listening can maybe put some options forward for a forfeit.
Bear
in mind, we live in different parts of the country, so it has to be relatively sensible.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Little other competition. Bet of the week. Obviously, we're going to just do Broncos games this week because it's going to be coming out a little bit later. What have you gone for?
I've just got one, and it's I'm starting really conservative, Mark, and I was tempted to up it a little bit, go for a bit higher odds, but I've gone for a simple 4-1, get me off the board, and I've gone for Rashad Penny, Javonte Williams, and Melbourne Gardner each to get 50 rushing yards plus. I just think, like you say, there's a good split on the rush for us. I think both will pick up, and I do see us struggling a little bit against the run game from Seattle. I think Pete Carroll's going to go heavy on it. He's going to rely on it a little bit more. So even if we do plan to stop it, I think that 50 yards for their number one running back.
So have you parlayed that? Have you made it into one bet or individual bet?
That was just one bet. That's one bet, a 4-1. So nice and steady. Wouldn't get big bucks, but we'll start.
Hey, you've got to earn the money somehow. Let's build that little bankroll, shall we? I've gone for two different ones here. I've matched you on the running one. I've gone Javonte on the yards. I've gone over. I think it was on William Hill at over 57.5. I think he's going to smash 57.5 all day. He's on at 1.85. So the good little returns on that. And I've also gone, I've never ever bet on this before, but I've gone McManus over 2.5 point afters. So I think that will come up. We're going to score 3 touchdowns. McManus doesn't miss them. He's going to get over 2.5. So a little bit of money, hopefully, coming our way. Be interesting to see if we can get a positive over the season.
Yeah, we'll have to track it and see how much we come out with. But yeah, I think I'd be confident putting yours on as well, Mark. I think obviously your first one's very similar, but yeah, I've got us down 3 TD. Do you think maybe he's an extra one into the bargain potentially? And like you say, he doesn't miss. Touch wood.
Well, touch wood. He was 7-7 in the preseason, so you shouldn't really be missing point afters, in my opinion. Okay, moving on to questions from our community. If you want to ask a question, we've got a little space on our Broncos Europe Discord where you can ask us any questions and we'll get round to them at the end of each podcast. We've had one this week from our good friend Richard MK, who says, what is the realistic target we should be aiming for in wins this season? Interesting one, actually, because we are in this absolute sort of behemoth of a division. The AFC West is just going to be a shootout all season long. We've got Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, all who have drastically improved this year. Obviously, we know Chiefs are going to be, they're always in it. Do we aim for a winning season? First of all, we haven't had one for a while. Definitely in my eyes. Do we aim for a double-digit win season? I'm saying yes again. I think we aim for around 11, 12 wins, enough to get us into the playoffs, but it's all going to come down to sort of this AFC West matchups, of which I'd be happy if we could sort of split them at 3-3 this year.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, Mark. I think those divisional games are going to be the big ones. Those are the ones where, like you said, they could go either way, and they're really going to be vital wins. If you can swing it in the favour and go 4-2, 5, you're well on the road there. But ask us last year as a Broncos fan of the years preceding that, you would take the winning season and be done with it. But the way we've strengthened and having a QB at the helm, a top QB, top tier QB this year, I think if we're not in the playoffs, it's an unsuccessful season, and hopefully a good run in the playoffs as well. But I think as a fan dealing with the the disappointment of recent years. I think just getting there and getting that winning season and getting into the playoffs is what we're all after.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll have a little extra podcast. If you've got time at some point, we'll go through the schedule, see what wins and losses we predict.
Yeah.
We'll get it done ASAP, so we don't miss out on too many weeks. But that would probably answer your question in more detail there, Richard. But like I said, if you'd like to ask us a question that you'd like to hear answered on the Broncos Europe Weekly, head over to the Discord. We've got links to that on our Twitter at BroncosEUR. We've got it on our Facebook community, which it thrives sort of once the season starts. A bit dead in the off season, but once the season starts, it's amazing. We've got game day threads. We've got competitions to win some gear from EndZoneKit, who are presenting sponsors, and a regular sort of meetup planned for the rest of the season. And obviously, we've got big news that Broncos are coming over to London this year. We will be having a meetup of some sort, probably this Saturday night and Sunday before the game. But we're just awaiting for final details to be confirmed on that. So stay tuned. So I guess all that's sort of left for me to say is a big thank you to Kieron for coming on this week. Anything else you'd like to say?
No, again, thanks for having us, Mark. I really enjoyed this first one and looking forward to building on it in coming weeks, and looking forward to getting the ball rolling Monday night. Should be a good game and excited. We'll do a Russell Wilson sign-off there and let's ride, I suppose.
I mean, you do it justice, but did you practice that before?
Only, numerous times, double digits, but yeah.
Just like Russell then, just like Russell, that's fine. Thanks for watching. Make sure you click like on the YouTube video below. Subscribe to our brand new channel on YouTube. It's called Broncos Europe. We had to start again, so we'd love you to subscribe and watch how the show sort of evolves over the next few weeks.
Yep, great stuff.